Bangladesh, the land of rivers. With nearly 160 million people, it's one of the most densely populated countries in the world. But the battle for resources is causing species to die out. Pollution is destroying rivers, and wetlands are drying up. In the last few decades, these areas have undergone a huge transformation. People are beginning to recognize the need to take action to save the environment.
Yes, I said.
30 years ago, Syed Azar would see hundreds of dolphins on the Boral River. Today, he needs to be patient if he wants to catch a glimpse of a single one.
In our village, peoples, they call it Shishu. Actually, Shishu means child.
Ganges dolphins are often solitary creatures. When the rainy season comes, they move upstream, but that puts them in danger.
This is a big one. Due to climate change and other factors, our important rivers where dolphin lives are almost silted in important areas. So they migrated in here and there, and they became endangered.
And people are responsible. Dams and locks have wrested as much water as possible from the land, cutting off the natural paths of dolphins and fish. Bangladesh lives off its fertile alluvial deposits. Almost half the population works in agriculture. Paddy fields dominate the landscape. Nowadays, the wetlands no longer live up to their name. The land is dried up and the fish are gone. For people in the Pabna region, it's a disaster. More than 300 men and women are digging out a dried-up branch of river by hand. Nazima Akram is helping.
My job is to look after the worries and concerns of the workers. If one of the babies cries, I check on them. And if someone's thirsty, I bring them water.
The project allows people like Nazima Akram to earn some money. The scheme aims to restore and protect 34 wetlands.
So many endangered species, threatened species reappears after the excavation. Those disappeared before. After the excavation, they will come again, they will breed again, and biodiversity will be increased in such a way.
But to make it work, the fishermen need to take an active role. It's up to them to conserve the stock of fish. But the small amount they manage to catch these days is hardly enough to live on. Ramcharan Halder has been fishing here for over 50 years.
We caught them all, sold them, and wiped them out. That's how it is. The fish have disappeared, and we're in despair. There's no longer any connection to the rivers.
He's worried about his children's future. When he can, he helps out with the Environmental Protection Project. The poles are designed to stop nets being cast. It's an ideal spawning area for fish. Birds and bats find a refuge here. This evening, Nazima Akram has arranged a meeting for all the women in the village. The project has allowed her to learn new skills. She wants to get things moving. As a woman, that takes courage.
The biggest change for me personally is that I never used to go out. Now I address other women, speak about the environment and think about how we can preserve the flora and fauna of the wetlands. I also occupy myself with women's rights. I didn't know anything about all that before.
But not everyone can afford to take part in sustainable farming. Many people have simply moved away from rural areas to work in the Bangladeshi capital, Dhaka. Some former fishermen now make a living pulling rickshaws. Overpopulation and a battle for resources are not the only issues which present a problem to the German project coordinator Ottilia Mooshofer.
The dilemma we're facing is that often feeding the population here in Bangladesh comes at the expense of biodiversity. That's a challenge because there are poor people here who really rely on these resources to survive. And at that point, it's a question of whether or not you can afford to do without the final 20–30% of your catch.
20–30% Fischfang oder kann ich es mir nicht leisten?
Nazima Akram and her family have made a commitment to do just that, at least as long as the project is running and they can make money from it. The fish catch here has already fallen by 75%. If the rest of the stock is to be protected, the fishermen need alternatives. And what about the Ganges dolphin? There are now 3 protected areas for them.
Sometimes some people try to harvest it, but fishers protect them. That's a positive side. They're trying to conserve in this area. But we have enough to do for them because just we started.